Can Montrealers contract COVID while shopping for essentials? There's increasing science that suggests yes. Until March 23rd, all instructions for Quebecers on preventing COVID infection were to wash hands thoroughly, do not touch our faces until our hands are washed, and the implication was that the transmission is through water droplets on surfaces. More and more research, however, showed that COVID is transmitted in the air. So, on March 23rd, physical distancing rules took effect, and the city's official defense against the spread of COVID on April 4th, still today, is that everyone should physically separate their home units from others over a minimum 2-meter distance. The issue is that the 2-meter distance guideline is only applicable when outdoors, where slow air currents would cause virus particles to drop within 2 meters or 6 feet. Indoors, research out of China has shown that COVID stays in the air for up to 3 hours in air-conditioned environments. People can be infected by COVID through particles of air left by someone who left an enclosed space half an hour earlier. And by tracking the exact movements of individuals in a city bus using CCTV cameras, authorities determined that people were infected by up to 4.5 meters away from a COVID-positive person. Furthermore, another person was infected half an hour after the COVID-positive person left the bus. The only good news out of this study was that the 2 individuals who sat right next to the COVID-positive person were wearing masks, and they did not contract the disease. The Quebec government believes that asymptomatic people are not a significant risk to others. However, research is showing that 80% of infections do come from asymptomatic people. Meanwhile, current COVID tests in Quebec will return a false negative result on most asymptomatic individuals, meaning the test that we have will not even work on COVID-positive people who are not showing symptoms.
We're not testing like asymptomatic person, and the test is not reliable for asymptomatic person right now, the test that we have in Quebec.
During this ascendant stage of the outbreak, it appears that there is a risk of contraction when going into any indoor space. While this may include stores, it would also include elevators and staircases of tall buildings which many people need to pass in order to reach the outdoors and those essential services. Without any current government analysis of how community outbreaks are happening, based on some science, it would appear that our essential services may be among the key transmission points of the disease. Right now, the government of Quebec has not identified any vectors of community outbreak, though cases are steadily rising a full 12 days after the physical distancing order was put into effect. The emphasis on police presence, rather than requiring all people to wear masks or requesting people refrain for as long as possible from going to the grocery store or closing down liquor and marijuana stores, implies that they do not believe that our essential services are spreading the disease. What is required right now is as detailed an analysis of each positive case of community transmission to identify all possible infection vectors. Without knowing with certainty how the disease is being transmitted, it should be highly recommended to avoid even essential services, if at all possible, while the city goes through the peak of the infection, especially if you live in a tall building. This is to protect yourself, but just as importantly, it's to protect others in the case that you yourself are asymptomatic.